enlightenment the easy way implies that there's no meditation needed. You actually don't need to go to an ashram or go to a retreat center or whatever it may be. It's absolutely free because you're always doing it. For example, are you breathing right now? I assume if you're alive here watching this, you are. And meditation is not something that you do. It's more something that you notice within yourself. So the breath is a more ancient practice. It's one of the first practices, noticing the breathing, following the rhythm of the breathing, inhalation and exhalation. And ultimately being able to notice that throughout your daily life, that will take you, so to speak, into a meditative state where you're essentially who you are, awareness. Your awareness will shift from continuous thinking to awareness of your awareness. And so your attention will be ultimately continuously pulled out of the stream of thinking, causing you to experience stress, anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, especially during situations where something doesn't go right. So there's no willpower needed. You don't need to strain yourself, if you will. You don't need to pay anyone, if you will. You ultimately recognize it, notice it within yourself, your breathing. That's one mini meditation, just noticing the breath, inhale and exhale. I call it a mini meditation, if we can call it that, because ultimately it's just noticing. It's not really a setup type of thing that you do and you have to pay and you have to be there at a certain time or you don't get a seat. So ultimately, noticing this is free and it's no actual conventional way of looking at it, meditation needed. I'd like to practice some of it with us here, if we will. So if you notice that you're maybe a little uncomfortable, you can make sure you're sitting right. You can be walking while you're doing this. You can be doing things. You can just be listening to me. You don't even have to be watching. You can just listen and notice your breathing, the inhalation and the exhalation while you're doing things. That's one mini meditation, if we will call it that. 2 or 3 is even better. Let's try it. Notice that last one I did was a significantly bigger inhale and a significantly bigger or larger exhale. Because ultimately, for example, something happens catastrophic, you want to take yourself deeper into that meditative state. So you take a deeper breath. Don't really need to think about anything, or because I know meditation sometimes base themselves around some type of mantra or something you repeat in your mind over and over, and it's supposed to do something. But here, you don't need that. You don't need any thinking, ultimately. That's also a better way of coming about with this, is to notice that the mind begins to stop, becomes quite silent, because you cannot think and notice your breathing at the same time. So, for example, let's try one now. As you did that, you may have noticed the mind tried to hold on to thinking, but the more you shift your attention and pay attention to the breathing, the inhalation and the exhalation, thinking begins to dissolve. So that's ultimately what you would want to, so to speak, get out of a meditation session. Whether it's conventional, you like to go to a place, that's fine, and do it with other people, but ultimately it's just going to be you when the situations happen or things go about how they go about, and you're in the line at the airport and it's a long line and you're late and you need to get there. You need to, the group, you cannot come in group, we need to do a meditation session. No, you won't be able to do that. So ultimately, on your own, being able to notice the breathing, step out of the thinking. And a lot of times, emotion connects with thinking, which is how we experience stress, anxiety, anger. A thought comes up, ultimately you believe the thought, and then stress arises or anger arises. So even emotion you can push to the side for now. So it is no meditation needed, but the awareness that you are behind the thought, the emotion, is what's needed. So awareness of your awareness is ultimately what's needed. Not a structured practice. A structured practice is good, but at the same time, it's ultimately up to you. Thank you.